A title win in WWE should be one of the most exciting moments imaginable, yet over the years WWE have opted to crown new champions in some of the most unconventional ways possible. From awarding titles to wrestlers for the sake of it, to simply finding titles in travel bags, WWE have decided to deliver a title change in an incredible lazy way in the past, and most of these title changes were met with vast criticism from the overall fan base, and for good reason. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 WWE wrestlers who won a title without even wrestling. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Number 10. The Big Show. In the summer of 2009, WWE implemented plans to make Edge and Chris Jericho the face of the WWE Tag Division. The acclaimed duo would win the undisputed tag titles, but it went all wrong when Edge suffered a serious injury that would put him on the shelf for the rest of 2009. Instead of stripping Jericho of the titles, WWE allowed Jericho to pick a new partner, and behind the scenes, Jericho wanted to team with Kane, but the WWE had other ideas and wanted Jericho to team with The Big Show. Despite initial reservations, Jericho during an episode of Talk Is Jericho would label Big Show as his favorite tag team partner that he's ever had.
Show was my favorite tag team partner of all time, by far. And that was because I was tag team champions with Edge. Edge tore his Achilles tendon and he was going to be out for 8 months. So they didn't want to strip me of the title, so Vince wanted me to have another partner because we were going into a feud with DX. And a lot of people wanted to put me with a young guy, and I said, we can't do this. DX will eat you alive unless I have somebody that's, a world champion level that can deal with them. And I suggested Kane, and Vince suggested Big Show, and I said, okay, great, but...
The two instantly bonded as Jericho, and Big Show's big reveal, pun intended, would come at the 2009 Night of Champions event when Big Show debuted as Jericho's partner in a tag match against Legacy. Number 9. Booker T. One of the feuds that dominated SmackDown between 2006 to 2007 was a feud between Booker T and Chris Benoit. The two embarked in a best-of-7 series for the US title, yet WWE encountered a huge issue when Booker suffered an injury halfway through the series. Instead of cancelling the series completely, Booker was substituted by Randy Orton, and Orton would act on behalf of Booker in the hopes of winning Booker the prestigious US title. The final match of the series took place in January 2007, and Orton was able to win the final match of the series, crowning Booker the new champion in the process. This was certainly a unique approach to an injury, but it worked in everyone's favour, as both Booker and Orton attained astronomical heat for in essence cheating their way through the best-of-7 series. Number 8. Midian. Midian is mostly known for being part of the Ministry of Darkness stable, as well as his infamous gimmick in 2000 where he ran around the arena, well, with a fanny pack on, and only a fanny pack. While fans may be surprised to learn about the former Ministry member is that he's actually a former European champion. In 1999, during a backstage segment, Midian casually mentioned to Shane McMahon that he had found the European title in McMahon's travel bag. Midian would then boldly ask McMahon if he could have the title, and McMahon bizarrely said yes. This was one of the more unusual yet lackluster ways a title has changed hands in WWE, and it led to a ton of questions surrounding how WWE saw the European title in terms of credibility and legitimacy. Number 7. Dean Douglas. The In Your House 4 event was supposed to be Dean Douglas's night. He was set to challenge Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental title, and it was widely believed that Douglas was going to win the match and the title. The issue was that HBK wasn't a fan of Douglas, and second, HBK engaged in a bar fight with a Marine, rendering him unable to compete. WWE orchestrated an angle which saw HBK forfeit the title, and Douglas would become the new champion. His reign would be short-lived, as he would then be challenged by Razor Ramon, and Ramon would end up defeating Douglas, giving Douglas the shortest Intercontinental title reign in company history. Number 6. Mankind. One of the most entertaining parts of the Attitude Era was the Hardcore title division. The title was contested under 24/7 rules, and it was total mayhem each and every week on Raw and SmackDown. The title was first introduced in 1998 during a storyline which saw the Corporation faction manipulate Mankind into doing their bidding. To entice Mankind, Vince McMahon gifted Mankind a broken, taped-up title that was labeled the Hardcore title. It's unknown what the original plans were for the title, but the Hardcore Championship went on to have 230 different reigns associated with it over the next couple of years. Whilst the introduction of the title may have been unconventional, establishing the new title back in 1998 certainly benefited the WWE product as a whole. Number 5. Piper Niven. When Sonya Deville went down with an ACL injury, it put a huge dent into the WWE Women's Tag Division. Deville was one half of the reigning Women's Tag Team Champions alongside Chelsea Green, and now WWE had to go back to the drawing board when it came to the division. WWE decided to have Piper Niven become Green's new partner, and they did this by Niven simply declaring herself as the second half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. The presentation of Niven as Green's new partner received criticism from fans as it was lazily executed, and once again further evidence that WWE cared very little about their women's tag division. Number 4. Mark Henry. The world's strongest man Mark Henry managed to win his first title in WWE in 1999. However, unlike the rest of Henry's many title victories, his first title victory didn't even require him to win a matchup. When Henry turned his back on good friend D'Lo Brown at SummerSlam and allowed Jeff Jarrett to become double champion, Jarrett awarded Henry by gifting him the European title. Once again, this led to questions surfacing surrounding the credibility of the title, as Jarrett simply giving the title away didn't exactly portray the title as prestigious or valuable. WWE had no substantial plans for Henry as European champion, as he would quickly drop the title within a few short weeks, making his title reign a complete waste of time. Number 3. Dolph Ziggler. When Dolph Ziggler won the world title in 2013, it was a special moment, as Ziggler had worked extremely hard to reach the top of the WWE ladder. The moment was also in sense Ziggler's first world title win that fans fondly remember, as his world title win in 2011 was presented in a controversial and criticized manner. Back in 2011, during the feud between Ziggler and world champion Edge, Edge was forbidden from using the spear in a match. Edge ignored this rule and decided to use the move anyway, and due to his rule breaking, Vicky Guerrero decided to outright strip Edge of the world title and reward Ziggler with the title. Was Dolph Ziggler ready for the world title at this time? Well, it's up for debate, but simply handing a wrestler the world title in this way wasn't a great look for the once prestigious title. Ziggler's reign would be short-lived, as the rated R superstar would receive his rematch on the exact same show, and Edge would defeat Ziggler, ending Ziggler's title reign in quick fashion. Number 2. Randy Orton. And WWE was sent into total chaos just before the 2007 No Mercy event. WWE's planned main event of the show was to see John Cena defend the WWE title against Randy Orton in a last man standing match. The issue was that Cena had suffered a major injury just days before the pay-per-view, and WWE had to think of how they were going to deliver a satisfying pay-per-view to the fans. The pay-per-view opened up with Vince McMahon simply awarding Orton with the WWE title. This was somewhat disappointing, but WWE had a plan on making the title the focal point of the entire pay-per-view. The new champion would be interrupted by his former arch-rival Triple H, and the game challenged Orton to an impromptu title match. In a shocking outcome, Triple H won, giving him his first world title win since 2005. The crowd absolutely loved it, and WWE did a good job in delivering a memorable moment on pay-per-view. The night of action wouldn't end there, however, as Triple H had a scheduled match with Umaga on the show, and this would now be for the WWE title. After the game's successful title defense, he'd be booked to defend against Orton once again in a last man standing match, and this was when Orton would reclaim the title to close off a pay-per-view event like no other. And number 1, Triple H. When Undisputed Champion Brock Lesnar became exclusive to SmackDown in 2002, WWE needed a title holder on Raw. So instead of holding a tournament to crown a new champion, WWE simply presented Triple H with the big gold belt. This was the laziest option WWE had, and due to their own laziness, the company had to work extra hard to portray the new title as on par with the WWE title. Over 2 decades after the game was unceremoniously awarded the title on Raw, fans still criticized the decision, and even legendary commentator Jim Ross had this to say on his podcast.
It was very untraditional.
Yeah.
Handing over a gift, the only time it might work is if you had a red hot heel that giving the championship to might increase their heat and their profile. But in general, it's not a good idea. Triple H should have gotten a ring, and it wasn't his call.
Right.
But to see him wrestle was always a bonus to me. And because at that point in time, he was really getting to be an amazing heel.
There you have it, folks. 10 WWE wrestlers who won a title without even wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.